What's up, everyone? Welcome to Among the Fence, my YouTube channel where I do music reviews. My name is Aaron, and today we're going to be checking out the new album, The Hell We Create, by the band Fit for a King. The Hell We Create is the 7th studio album from the Texan metalcore band. I first discovered them back with their 4th studio album, Death Grip, which was released in 2016. They were heavy, they were aggressive, and they wrote music that stood out, and the lyrics were semi-unique sounding. And this would slowly fade away with their next 2 releases of Dark Skies and The Path, the latter of which is basically just generic radio rock that was completely soulless, at least to me. However, they are still one of my favorite bands, so I always have hope that they'll end up becoming original again. Ryan Kirby, their vocalist, said that the singles that they released for this album were meant to show the variety of songwriting and different sounds and stuff that this album was going to bring. So they were kind of polarizing. You get one song that's really heavy and you get another song that's really soft. So a lot of fans were left scratching their heads wondering what direction they were trying to go in. And it was kind of confusing until Ryan made that statement, because everybody's like, okay, so are they just going to write like every other song is going to be completely different? So let's see how the album holds up as a whole. The album opens up with the title track, The Hell We Create. It really sets the tone for this album on how we kind of create our own hell based on our own thoughts and our own actions. We also create a lot of anxiety and depression over things that never happen or just simply aren't true. It's got a slow build into the intro with some really good drum work. The verse is really intense. It has great rhythm to it, and the vocals are just... The sort of vocals from Ryan Kirby are just so freaking good. It amazes me just how good he does become vocally with each release. And this one is just, it is it. However, I'm not really that big of a fan of the lyrics, as they don't really get too specific or too personal within this. The cleans in the chorus sound great as well, as it's carried by more drums than anything else. In verse 2, it definitely has better lyrics and better metaphors as the groove picks up. It sounds really good. And the outro and breakdown was just absolutely sick. Then we have the song End, or The Other Side. This is about Ryan Kirby's wife, who almost died from a stroke. This song is really touching. It has a great riff in the verse, and the lyrics hit really hard, especially in the chorus, where he admits that he can't survive without her. He doesn't want to do this alone. And this is what I want from this band in terms of lyrics. I want them to really open up. Instead of just being like, I'm really scared, I want them to be like, I'm terrified. I'm so afraid of losing you. And he really dives into it. And the lyrics definitely get a lot better. This one pulls on your heartstrings a lot, and the outro is super brutal, yet kind of haunting. And the vocals are absolutely insane. Like I said, Ryan Kirby, he's killing it on this album with the vocals for sure. And the next 2 songs are kind of sequels of each other, Falling Through the Sky being the sequel of The End. However, it does have kind of weaker lyrics, at least to me. It has like this wall of sound in the intro, and then it's just synth and clean vocals in the verse. The pre-chorus is quiet with kind of like chanty-ish, echoey vocals, and the drums come in, adding a little bit more depth to it. The chorus has a good climax and a decent hook that, I mean, it sounds kind of generic, but at the same time, it's not too bad. The breakdown in this song was just okay. This is kind of more on their side of the standard metalcore, the stuff that I personally don't really care for from the band. Then we have the song Sink Below, which is about Ryan Kirby not really talking about what he went through after his wife almost died. And he had his first panic attack in his entire life after the incident, and how he's kind of just speaking out to other people who are dealing with things, how you shouldn't bottle things up. You really need to talk, especially stuff like this. You need to talk about it. You need to get it out, get your thoughts out of your own head. The verse is, it really has this feeling of kind of spiraling downward and out of control. The chorus was decent, but I felt like it was lacking all around. Verse 2 hits just right, though. It's got that push it needs. It's got a great riff. The chorus does feel a little repetitive. As someone who, I mean, I haven't been through Ryan Kirby's experiences, but as far as panic attacks go, I've been through that before. And I've been through the whole thing of you need to get out of your own head. I feel like this could have gone a little bit further. I was hoping for a little bit more from this song, a little bit more openness, a little bit more vulnerability, and a little bit more sincerity. I wanted more of that, like, guys, you need to like let somebody know like I'm going crazy, but instead it felt kind of superficial. Then we have the song Reaper, which is basically a love letter to Ryan Kirby's favorite show, Dark. It deals with the inevitability of death, and it's got tons of aggression in the chorus, and the drums really pick up about halfway through the verse. It sounds fantastic. I love how heavy this song is. It's kind of like their mosh pit live song. It reminds me a lot of Backbreaker off of Dark Skies, but with a little bit more character to it, as opposed to just strictly being a mosh pit song. And not only that, but the vocals in the breakdown are absolutely insane, where there's different snarls and different vocal stuff that I feel like we're not really used to hearing from Ryan, and it sounds fantastic. Then we have the song Times Like This, which is about how polarizing politics can be, and it's about how if we as a people unite together and we start actually looking at things for what they are, we might be able to actually elect somebody who helps us out instead of just does stuff for themselves and is more for the people. It definitely keeps the energy going that was built up from the last song. The drums stand out to me the most, and the chorus is generic, but I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. It has that little something that Fit for a King, just that quality to them that makes them stand out. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but when you hear that chorus, you're like, it's kind of generic, but I mean, it's good though. Like, this works. And then verse 3 features Jonathan Vigil from The Ghost Inside, and he absolutely kills it. As verse 3 is kind of more of a breakdown than anything else, if we're going to be honest. I just wish he would have stuck around for the rest of the song. I don't know why people do that, or bands do that. I don't know if like you have to pay them more if he has more than like 3 lines in a song. I have no idea, but I feel like it would have hit so much harder if him and Ryan came in for the final chorus and just powered their way through. But it is what it is. And that brings us to my favorite song, Eyes Roll Back, where the intro really brings the heat with well-placed vocal effects and synth, where in the past the vocal effects they've used have been horrible, and it's actually taken away from the moment in the song. And holy freaking hell, the verse is so sick. It's one of the best moments, not just on this album, but one of the best moments that Fit for a King has had in over 5 years for sure. The vocals are incredible, and the blast beats just take it to it just takes off. It's so fantastic. The chorus brings intensity down like right afterwards, just a little bit before it goes right back into being brutal. The music, I gotta admit, is not like the best thing that I've ever heard, but the vocals and the rhythm and how it all works together, I feel like it's so great. It's one of my favorite things that they've done in, like I said, a very long time. Then we have the song Fracture, which is a song to the birth parents of Ryan's adopted son and daughter, who are also his niece and nephew, who were abused by their actual parents, and how much hurt has been brought into their lives because of this. But also at the same time, how they can all, even Ryan, like the whole family and all them, they can move on. They can move past this. It's got clean vocals and a synth that create a lot of atmosphere in the verse. And I love that verse 2 really keeps the passion going from the chorus that's rather triumphant. The bridge is really straightforward about just all of their feelings. I feel like I feel like Ryan is speaking for everybody in the family in the bridge. It's really touching. Nothing really stood out to me all that much in terms of the performance of the song, but just the intention behind it was great. Reaching Out was written by bassist and singer Tuck, who wrote this song to Ryan's adopted niece and nephew, saying that basically, like, the band is rooting for them. They're on their side and they're hoping that things work out the best. And I gotta admit that the vocal tone, it's definitely a nice change up. I enjoyed it a lot. The lyrics are well written. They're just so good. You could tell that was written by somebody else, I feel like, and it stands out so much because of that. And it's definitely the change that this album needs, especially this late into it. The verse has a great lead guitar like hanging out in the background, while the chorus has a nice resolution and just tons and tons of empathy for just Ryan's niece and nephew. The breakdown is over just a little too fast. I wasn't really a fan of the transition back into the chorus. I gotta admit, it felt a little wonky. And the breakdown felt like they just threw it in there just because like we need a breakdown, so we're just going to throw it in there. Felt kind of out of place, but overall, it's still a pretty solid song. What You Have Left Behind is the closing track to the album, and it is from two different perspectives. First from Ryan and his wife, and then from his kids. And it kind of psychs you out a little bit as it starts out with some synth, and it's got a heavy explosion from the drums, and then it goes right back into being kind of chill and synth as we go into the verse. The pre-chorus picks it back up though, and then it climaxes in the chorus. The post-chorus to me is definitely the shining moment, where it kind of has that intro section again where everything really just explodes. It sounds fantastic. The breakdown makes you want to stomp around and flip a table over. It's pretty dang good. I liked how it's very simple and very effective, and it isn't like too far out there where bands, I feel like they overcomplicate things with the breakdown. This is a fantastic closing track, and I feel like it closes off the whole theme of this album perfectly well. I gotta say that this album felt a lot more focused than Fit for a King has been in years. It's like they knew what they wanted to tell their audience musically and lyrically, and they really honed in on the best way to communicate this emotion that they wanted to get out. I mean, it's not the most technical sounding thing ever, and it doesn't have like the most brilliant lyrics ever, but at the same time, that's not really what Fit for a King has ever been known for. So you can't really judge them too much on that. I still feel like they outdid themselves so much. They definitely redeemed themselves from whatever the heck the path was, which was just completely scattered and just I didn't enjoy it at all. And Dark Skies, I felt like musically, I feel like this is better than Dark Skies, and I feel like it's definitely more focused. And I didn't like Dark Skies quite a bit. I know a lot of people also didn't really like that one, but I'm a fan of it, and I feel like this is definitely, it pushes above it. And I really like that they're finally starting to get a little bit deeper. Like Ryan, I feel like you get too lost in metaphor sometimes, and it's easy to not be personal. So everything just kind of sounds generic. Everything's a tagline, everything's cliche. And while it might sound cool in a song, but if somebody's really going through something and you wrote something where a song's supposed to connect with them and it's just so superficial, it's just, it isn't going to hit as deep. So I feel like you're hitting deeper now, and it's working out so well. So with all that said, I gotta give The Hell We Create by Fit for a King a 7.3 out of 10. But I want to know what you guys think. I know a lot of people hated me for my opinion of The Path, and I'm sure a lot of people are just going to hear me say I don't like it in this review, and that's pretty much it, and just completely ignore everything I have to say about this album. But still, leave a comment below letting me know what you thought of The Hell We Create. Let me know what you would rate it, and let me know what your favorite song is as well. And while you're down there, also let me know what you want me to review next. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. If you want to see more, you don't want to miss out on any of my future stuff, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon. Doing any of that stuff helps me out tremendously. I appreciate it more than you guys could ever imagine, especially with YouTube's forever changing algorithm. It just, yeah, I appreciate you guys even just taking time out of your day to listen to me talk about music. And I hope you have a good rest of your day or night, whenever you happen to be watching this, and I will talk to you guys next time. I was